Lesson learned. Even though I knew it, I still wasn't careful enough.
Rolling, 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 keep the doggy rolling. Rolling, 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 keep that truck rolling. Welcome to today's adventure. Today our mission is to explore a pond that I've never explored. I've been to the edge of it while hunting, and I've always wondered what there was in it for fish, but I've never explored it. So today and tomorrow, that's what we're going to do. Today is kind of a recon trip. I've got a backpack full of gear, I've got some minnow traps, and I've got a kayak. Now this pond isn't the typical pond where you can drive down to the edge of the water, drop your kayak in and check it out. This pond is in the middle of the woods. There are no footpaths, there are no anything to get down in there. You're just busting brush the whole way. So I've got to figure out the easiest way to get in and out. That's my objective number one. And objective number two is to get these minnow traps set out on the water so that when I come back in the morning, I'll be able to pull the minnow traps and see what I've got in there and potentially even use that for bait. This is a very isolated pond. There are no special fishing restrictions. It's just a small pond in the woods. Now I have an idea there may be brook trout in it if it doesn't get too warm, because there are streams in the area. There is a stream that runs into it and a stream that runs out of it. And I know both of those streams contain brook trout in various sections. Not a lot of them, but there are some. So if the water in this pond stays cool enough, it'll probably hold brook trout. But even if it doesn't hold brook trout, it'll most likely hold hornpout, which is northern speak for catfish. And it may hold other types of fish. I'm guessing it holds blacknose dace for minnows. It may hold eastern silvery minnows. I'm not real sure. There isn't a lot of literature about this pond anywhere. It's not like it's been surveyed and, shocked to see what's in there. We're going to explore to find out what's in there. So our first order of business is finding the easiest way to get in there. Around here, the most direct route is often not the easiest to travel. Usually you've got to take some circuitous route, which is what we're going to find out today. The second order of business is going to be to get these 3 minnow traps baited and into the water, so when we come back in the morning, we'll have a better idea what's in there for bait. And that'll potentially tell us what might be in there for fish. So to bait this trap, I grabbed a little bit of dog food, a little dry dog food, and I grabbed some bread that we had that's starting to mold. Perfect bait for minnows. We're going to put a little bit of each into our minnow traps and get them in the water. If you like outdoor adventures such as this, and you'd like to see them on a regular basis, you can start now by clicking that little icon down there in the corner that says subscribe. If you click on that subscribe icon, you won't miss any of my future videos. Surveyor's tape, GPS, handgun in there too, just in case. Always have a handgun, always have a compass, always have a GPS. I'm going to ditch this kayak nearby in the brush, and I'm going to take it down in with me tomorrow morning when I go in to fish. We be ready. Let's go. Off we go. And by the looks of it, this whole area was logged off to some degree 4 or 5 years ago, maybe a little less. There are no paths, so we are just going to buck the brush. I've got a pretty decent bearing on the direction we've got to go. We're traveling through the woods. We're pretty much sticking with the path of least resistance, which is generally a game trail or an overgrown log road or something like that. But a lot of times you'll come to a place you just got to turn around because you can't get through, and that kind of looks like it might be it. We'll see. I don't want to get too wet. I don't have rubber boots on today. Swampy area, but it's not overly wet, so I think we'll be okay. Okay, so going through this low swampy area is not a bargain. So we've got to head to the left up here and work our way around to try to go up in from high ground a little bit. Because there's no way I'm pulling a kayak through this. There's a lot of down trees like this that are 3 or 4 feet off the ground that I can just step over. But I can't drag a kayak through this stuff. Quits being fun when it gets to be that much work. We made our way out of that swamp and onto a old skid road here, which is pretty easy walking, and this will kind of take us in a roundabout way the direction we want to go up here. But you can see the moose track here, that's probably a good sized cow, medium to big cow, a big old heavy animal. And there's a deer track there. It's kind of a smallish deer, a little bit bigger deer track right here. So the deer and the moose are using this old road simply because it's the easiest way to get around in here. You see that in a lot of places in this part of the country. The easiest place to travel is used by a lot of different animals. Keep that in mind when you set up your tree stand locations. We're going to continue to head up this way and go to the farthest point first. Like anything else you're trying to do in life, that you get that most difficult part out of the way first, and the rest of your task tends to go a little bit easier. We're heading up this old log road, and it is just tore up with raspberries. All these beautiful red raspberries. And they are delicious. Oh man. But there's millions of them all the way up here. They don't look like they're getting hit too hard by a bear either. I haven't seen anything knocked down, so bears have got plenty of food. All right, let's keep moving. We've gone as far as we can go on that trail. We've got to turn up in here. Beat the brush a little bit again. There's some of these raspberry bushes overturned here, so there has been activity in here. But man, look at those beautiful red raspberries just everywhere in here. I see them quite often in the woods, but not generally to this degree. This is a pretty unique area to have such a large expanse. But yeah, they've been good. You can see the backside of those raspberry bush leaves right there. Something knocked those over on their way through here, and I'm walking right on this trail. Whew, it's hot today. Just taking a little breather. We're within 75 yards or so at the far end of the pond where we're going to put out the first minnow trap. Then I'm going to go put one out at the middle, and then one at the closest point to the vehicles, back towards the road. Well, in the direction of the road. It's still a long ways from the road. But we've got the stream that comes in up here, but I know there's some brook trout in. The middle of the pond is over here, and then the far end of the pond is over there, and the truck is more to the right. Just start to see that water out there now. All right, the hard part is over, I hope. I believe the hard part's over. Here we go. Yeah, there's the main body of water there, and then it gets narrow up to this end and goes up into a stream up that way. I know I've walked over that in years past, and you can step right over it. So this is what we want to investigate right here. Whew. We made it down to the edge of the water here, but it is some mucky. You've got to be super careful about where to step. Okay, we're going to get this minnow trap out and put one here. I'm going to put one about halfway down and then one on the far side over there. Whew. Well, lesson learned. I went in. Felt kind of refreshing, but a little bit embarrassing. I wasn't careful. I wanted to get that trap out just a little bit further, and I went and stepped, and we went in. Went in right up to here. Cell phone, underwater, the whole 9 yards. Good news is, it's waterproof. Whew. Bad news is, this hat may never get clean again. Whew, man, oh man. That was an experience. Lesson learned. Even though I knew it, I still wasn't careful enough. I lost my balance a little bit, wanted to make that one extra little step, and went in. No harm, no foul. Whew. A little bit embarrassing, but hey, it even happens to me. I've been doing stuff like this my whole life. But that's what the outdoors is all about. Sometimes you're gonna get dirty. Oh man, that's why you have waterproof gear. That's why you tether things down that you don't want to lose. That camera that you're looking through right now went off the end of the stick and into the water. Luckily it was up near the top and I was able to grab it, but that's waterproof. So we're good there. Still working. I can see the screen going. The phone's waterproof. We're good. I still haven't got a minnow trap out yet. So let's go get the minnow trap, put in the stream, let's get all cleaned up, and then we'll kind of strategize what we're going to do from there. So before I even get washed up, I'm going to put a minnow trap right here. This little pocket right here, there's some depth, there's about 1.5 feet, and there's going to be some minnows in here. There's no question in my mind. I'm going to put a minnow trap together, which means getting it apart first. Come on out of there. There we go. Let's get it baited. A little bit of dog food, a little bit of bread. And put about 1/3 of that. It's old dog food left over from a couple of years ago, but certainly good enough for minnows. So we're going to break up some bread. Put a piece of bread in there. So now, to close these traps, you just align the little knob with the slot on both sides. And you got your clip. One thing to keep in mind if you decide you want to trap minnows, at least in my state, you've got to have your name, address, and phone number on the trap, which I've got permanently on both sides of my trap. So I've got it actually on there twice. We're going to toss this out and tie it off. I've got a little thin piece of paracord here. I think this is 100-pound paracord. It might have 20 or 25 feet. I'm going to heave it out here. All right, hold on to the end with the loop so it doesn't go too far, so we don't lose the rope. Make sure it's not stuck on anything on the ground. Give it a heave. That's all of our rope. Perfect. Don't have to worry about anybody coming by, seeing our trap and taking it, that's for sure. Good sized log right here laying on the ground, half dead. I'm going to tie to that. Couple of half hitches, that's not going anywhere. I'll be anxious to see how we do there. Okay, we've got our minnow trap right out there. You can see the shiny metallic thing. That's our minnow trap. There's our rope tied off to this log here. And I just stuck up a temporary piece of ribbon so I know right where it's at. Let's go get cleaned up. Well, we came to the mouth of the stream, but the beavers have got it pretty well dammed up. There's the stream there. There's almost no flow at all. because it's the middle of summer, and with the beavers where they've got it dammed up, there's no real stream this time of year. I'm looking down in the water, and there are hundreds of minnows down there. I'm gonna see if I can submerge you and get a look at those suckers. Supposedly this GoPro is waterproof. We're gonna find out. Moment of truth. I'm gonna put you right in the water. Get ready to hold your breath. Okay, we're gonna bait this second trap. We're just gonna toss it out right there where you were just looking at them. We're gonna head out and see if we can set this one last trap. But before we do, I gotta get washed up. That hat is like a khaki color. Looks more like caca now. Let's wash this sucker off. And that minnow trap is getting absolutely surrounded by minnows. It's definitely going to need a good washing in the washing machine, but it's wearable and it is much better than it was. We walked up in the woods a ways after we set out that second minnow trap. And I wanted to see what this stream looked like up above where the beavers are dammed, and there's just not hardly any flow, although I do see a bunch of minnows in there. There's just not hardly any flow at all. I'm really hoping that the brook trout that live in this little stream that dries up like this in the summertime, it's early August now, so I'm hoping those fish are out in that pond. That'd be kind of cool. We can get a hold of some brook trout out in there tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Now, we've got a little hike to get out of here. Let's get started. Man, these raspberries are delicious. That one's not quite ripe. Definitely no shortage of ripe ones. You want the ones that are almost going to fall off on their own. If you've got to tug at them for any amount like that one right there, I've got to tug at it a little bit to get it off. I don't even want it. You want the ones that are just about ready to fall on the ground. Like that one, just barely touch it and it comes off. See up in here, like you can tell the darker colored ones, that one's ready. That one's ready. Some of the best tasting things come straight out of nature, I swear. Damn, that's good. We're about 3/4 the way up the pond. I'm gonna go up a little bit further and drop down again and see if I can get right to the pond's edge without having to go through a bunch of muck. If I can, we're gonna put out that third trap. If not, we're gonna head out and call it a day. When we busted the brush, we're about 1/3 of the way from the end. Man, we got some high bush blueberries in here. Look at this. Oh, these are beauties. Boy, I'm gonna be regular tomorrow. But I can't resist, they're just too goody. Nature's snack. If I can get out to this water without having another incident with the mud, we're gonna put that third minnow trap out here. Let's go. This might work. It's not terribly wet right here. Just gotta be real careful. Don't commit to any step until I know it's reasonably solid. Always reserve the right to go back. This is kind of iffy, but we're getting awfully close to the water. If I could get to that hump right there, I'd be able to throw out the minnow trap. I'm not entirely sure. I just can't see where I'm stepping, which makes it. There we go. There's a high spot. Ooh, a lot of water there. Nope, that isn't happening. There's water straight under there. Standing water. And we're not going to be able to get out here. I think I'm going to have to find a way with the kayak to get in like up there. But this is a good view of the pond. The water felt by touch to be about 70 degrees. So it might be, it all depends on the depth. I don't know if we've got enough depth. I can see lily pads and weeds in there about 30, 40 yards offshore, little patches. And if that's the case, that means that there probably isn't a deep hole, because the only place it could be would be right over there. And if there is a deep hole where a spring feeds or something, you will find fish there, and they will bite. We're going to find out tomorrow. I think discretion is going to be the better part of valor here. I just don't see how I can safely get to the water there without taking a chance that I'm not willing to take. I'm kind of half tuckered out from the hiking and struggling with the mud so far, so we'll slide out of here and get rested up for tomorrow morning. As far as I can tell, this is going to be the best place to get down into the pond with the kayak. I'm going to flag it with a piece of tape. If you're doing any adventures in the woods and you end up using this temporary flagging tape, make sure you use a color that the loggers in the area don't use. In this area, the loggers are predominantly using pink. Knowing that, I grabbed some orange, because the loggers can put out an awful lot of ribbons at times. You'll wonder, is that mine? Is that? No, you want something different. A lot of times I'll even put two different colors, tie them together, and hang them from the tree. So I'm positive it's my mark. Put this right up here. We're gonna leave it good and long so that the wind will make it move. May help us see it a little easier. Here we go. Let's get out of here. It's about a 20-minute walk. I came back a little different way than I went in. Probably a couple of 100 yards longer, but it was worth it because it was a little bit easier walking. Man, even my key fob got all muddy. Gotta go home and get a shower. It was still fun. When we headed in, we had two objectives. We wanted to put out 3 minnow traps, and we wanted to find the best route in and out. Accomplished almost 2 objectives. 2/3 of the first objective. We got 2 of the 3 minnow traps out. And looking at the terrain, I'm pretty sure I've got the easiest way in there. Well, that was an interesting little excursion. But that's what it's all about. Hey, out here making memories, right? That's how you make memories. Just get out and do it. Holy crap, it's loaded. It is loaded.